Again, we've been discussing the portal recruiting, some major recruiting news over the past week. It's been a really good week for Auburn over the past week or so, picking up some vital commitments that they've been in after. Eric Winters is an example of one, but the latest is four-star running back Alvin Henderson from Elba,
Yes.
Alabama, who originally committed to Penn State back in April, but Auburn still stayed after this kid. There were a few people making predictions late last week about him committing to Auburn. And on Friday, he did just that. He becomes the 16th commit of the 2025 class. He's the number 8 running back, number 11 player from the state of Alabama per 247 Sports, number 113th overall player, 5'9", 200 pound running back, and major pickup for Auburn. Auburn currently has a top 5 class per 247. Can they hold serve at that position or even move up, because they're after plethora of other big recruits? How do we feel about this flip and about what Auburn is doing? This is actually the first, not necessarily the first committed running back. Auburn had one in the last class, but Auburn didn't take him. He will be Auburn's first signed running back in the Hugh Freeze era. What are our thoughts about this flip and this pickup? I'll start with you, Ike.
Listen, Alvin Henderson was a guy that was really heavily involved with Auburn prior to signing with Penn State, and there were a lot of people who speculated after, Cadillac was no longer a coach. That was the thing that kind of soured, I guess you could say, the relationship between Auburn and Alvin Henderson, and what kind of pushed him closer to Penn State. But according to Alvin Henderson, Auburn never really let up off of him even after his commitment to Penn
Yeah.
State. And he always really wanted to be at Auburn. So this isn't necessarily surprising. I am, I'm glad to see that he has decided to make this commitment. But listen, again, y'all know I ain't gonna count no chickens until they hatch. So until he signs, I'm happy that he's in the fold, but I just need to wait and see when the ink dries on the paperwork what's going to happen.
Sure.
But by all accounts, Alvin Henderson is a supremely talented running back. He's in the top 15 recruits in the state, and we'll get more into this in-state recruiting in a little while. But yeah, it's never a bad thing to get a guy who is a running back from the state of Alabama who is as highly coveted as Alvin Henderson. So looking forward to seeing how this all plays out with him.
Mike, talk to me, man. What are your thoughts about this pickup?
My thoughts are it's 865 miles from where Alvin Henderson is to Happy Valley. He probably took a look at the map and said, "You got to do what to get in there?" We played Penn State 2 years ago, and Ike and I were trying to figure out how to get to this game. I mean, the flights in and around there are crazy. So it was like super long drive or crazy flight into some little airport and a rental car. And what we settled on was watch ESPN. these guys want to play. They want their folks to be able to come see them play. They do, man. And here's the thing. And don't get me wrong, Penn State has a top 5 game day experience, right? When they do the whiteout, it's insane. I mean, you guys seen that Penn State
They only
versus
do it
Michigan?
once a year, though. It's interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah, like you saw that Penn State versus Michigan,
Yeah.
where I mean,
Yeah.
like I think they had to call a timeout before they could run a play. It was so loud in there. Yeah, it is a top tier, first class college football experience. But man, Jordan Hare is nothing to joke with, and you can get something similar to that, plus stay home, and get a little bit away from home, be in your own world, same type of exposure. You're not getting less exposure at Auburn. You're in the SEC. And you're coming to a program that has won a national championship much more recently than Penn State. I don't, like I said, to me, what you said on the front end of this, Caesar, was Hugh Freeze and Derek
Nix.
Nix. I was going to call him Derek Scott. Derek Nix never let off. They kept recruiting him. And this is what I think. Maybe this is the part of the recruiting process that the last staff didn't get. You can't quit on kids.
Yeah.
You have to keep recruiting. If you quit on a kid, they're going to quit on you. But it's not over until they sign.
Thanks.
And Hugh Freeze believes that he's building something here that kids are going to want to play in. So he's just like, listen, we're not going to stop recruiting you. You may not realize we're the one now, but you're going to realize it 3 months from now. Because once it gets closer to signing, and I've talked to recruits about this, the doubts start to creep in. Because this is the biggest decision most of them have made their entire life. And they're saying, do I leave home? Do I stay home? If you're in the chat and you've ever had to relocate for a job from a place that you actually liked, it's tough. Even though it's the better opportunity. Guys, I loved Phoenix. Caesar, you know how I was living in Phoenix. I loved Phoenix. So, but when DC came knocking, it was like, ugh, do I really want to leave Phoenix? You know what I mean? My bank account said yes, so I left. But it was hard. It was a really hard decision.
Went bad in Phoenix. I get your point.
It was hard. It was a hard decision, and I think that's what these kids are facing. So they're like, okay, the bag exists at Auburn and Penn State. And I'm trying to weigh all these different things, and you've got people in your ear as well too. You got people saying go and people saying stay. Mama's probably saying stay. Daddy's probably like, go, son, be a man somewhere else. And you've got friends and people in your ear. This is a tough decision. I think Hugh Freeze understands this. And that's why they never quit on him. So I like that. I think this is a good flip. I know we're going to talk later about like what the balance of recruiting is in the state, but it's a shot across the bow to DeBoer. You're not Saban. You're not Saban. And if you're going to battle me for recruits, you're going to have to put in 4 times the work. Saban got to rest on on the totality of his accomplishments for the most part over the last 4 or 5 years, right? Like, he had the national titles under his belt. He had the draft picks. He had all this stuff. The board didn't have any of that shit in the SEC. I'll be honest, man. All you have is a bunch of accomplishments in a conference that does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
And you still came up short. So I'm excited about I'm telling you, when that news alert came across my phone, I was like, whoa, what? They did what? Come on, man. This is a great thing.
Y'all know it's smooth sack summer, right? Well, if you didn't know, Manscaped is here to help you out and get you acclimated to all things involving your balls. Manscaped has the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, and it has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Every man knows how scary it can get when going for a close shave below the belt. That's why they trust Manscaped with all of the sensitive areas. We have Manscaped products. Well, I have been utilizing my Manscaped products that have been so generously gifted to me from the company. And it's been a wonderful experience so far. I haven't had any issues making sure that I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? But you have the dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, 3 length settings, combs, and did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? Beach, lake, or shower, this razor will get the job done for the strongest of pube hairs. That is such a weird thing for you to have in this ad read, Manscaped. I ain't going to hold you. But get 20% off plus free shipping with code Rapport at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping when you use code Rapport at manscaped.com. Smooth sack summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind.
I agree. And one of the things I'll add to your point, Mike, I think you made a great point about Hugh Freeze and staff. Ike alluded to it as well about this staff being relentless and not giving up on kids. I think something else I'm noticing with this staff is we already know that Auburn is a place that sells itself. When you would hear recruits coming from visits, talking with media, they would always talk family. They would always talk about how Auburn is this family atmosphere. It feels like home, which is what Alvin Henderson said. But Henderson also talked beyond the fact that This is a coaching staff that's actually talked about how they can succeed at Auburn, not just a family atmosphere. So what you're doing is you're combining an atmosphere and an environment that sells itself with a coaching staff that can sell.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
what's happening is the days of us losing a recruit, because there was a time when a kid would recruit elsewhere, that was it. They'd have to reshuffle their board and look for somewhere else. This is a coaching staff that knows how to sell Auburn, a place that already knows how to sell itself. And then now these kids aren't just joining a family environment. You're joining a place where you can actually have success. And you can only share that message when your offensive coordinator and the head coach are aligned and they're on the same page. Both of these two guys have been hitting up Alvin Henderson ever since he committed to Penn State, and the messaging has been in sync.
Yeah, Caesar, you talk about the place selling itself. Auburn has a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
This is no bias in this at all. When people come to Auburn, almost always the first comment is the campus is beautiful. It's wonderfully set up. It is. Like, listen, I have been to a lot of other campuses. I've been to the University of Arizona's campus. Crap. Awful. It's like, I don't even know how to describe that campus. Arizona State's campus, same thing. It's almost like it's not even a campus. They just put some school buildings in the middle of a city. Yeah. It's wild, right? Like you got like an Omni Hotel next to their journalism building. It's weird, man. You don't even feel like you're on campus. When people come to Auburn, I remember Talia Scott saying that she was so taken back by how great the campus was when she got here. She was completely in awe. This was one of the top 5 women's basketball prospects in the portal. Could have gone anywhere she wanted. She said, I came to Auburn and I was blown away as soon as we got on campus.
I mean, she was at Arkansas before, so. You know.
Yeah, well, that's to my point. That's my point, though. Right? That's my point, though.
That was a low bar.
Well, no, they're investing in women's basketball at Arkansas, but like,
yeah, sure they are. It's just their campus.
The campus.
Looks like
Arkansas. Campus.
Yeah. A lot of campuses look like Arkansas, though. That's what I'm saying. A lot of campuses look like Arkansas. So when you come to Auburn, it's like, whoa, this is crazy. You know, it's like that one McDonald's in the hood versus that like one McDonald's you stop by on a trip out of town that's all got super clean bathrooms and it's just like perfect. You know, they still got a playhouse and shit.
I don't.
You know
I don't go to McDonald's out of town, so I don't know.
You don't?
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna trust you.
Okay, yeah. I'm telling you, like, there's some of them you stop at. There's one on the way to Nashville. You probably know the one I'm talking about, right by the Tesla chargers. On the way out, I think it's like Cornersville or something. Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. On 65.
I don't drive a Tesla. I don't know where Tesla chargers
but
are.
It's like there's a gas
station. You know, Ike.
Yeah.
Charged their car.
It
runs on gas.
It's a common spot to stop on the way to Nashville. And you have made that trip at least 3 times in the last year.
I go to Buc-ee's.
Cornersville? Is there a Buc-ee's? On the way up?
No, I'm saying when on my way to Nashville, that's the
now,
stop I always make is the Buc-ee's. That's just
there's a Buc-ee's now. It's
that's right. There is a Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
There is a Buc-e's. All right, fine, whatever. Too good for McDonald's. But yeah, it's I mean, you step in there, it's like premium, and you just know, like, hey, there are other McDonald's around, but this one is premium. Like Auburn is premium. The campus is premium, I'm telling you. And you will have been to other campuses, but when you step on campus here, I think that this is why coaches continue to want to come coach here. Politics aside, the school is itself is very, very easy to sell.
I think Auburn is a huge secret, except the guys in the SEC who come here to play. But to the rest of everyone else, it's a huge. I don't think people understand how cool of a place it is, and it does sell itself.
Yeah, and we all went to school there, so you know, like it was the longest walk we had. Probably Caesar was from the Hill to Haley Center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. At the time, I mean, it's bigger than that now, I think. But like,
I said, the campus is
it's crazy now. Yeah. But like, you know, from the Hill to Haley Center was like the longest walk we had. I still complained about that. But when I went to other campuses, I was like, whoa, man, this is.
Oh yeah, no. If you're talking about how spread out other campuses, you're 100%
like Tuscaloosa,
Alabama. Oh my God, yeah. What? If you ever been up there, I'd never go to class.
Comparatively, the way Auburn's campus is laid out is way more. We thought about this school before we started doing this stuff. It was like other places were like, oh, we could have a school too.
Yeah.
And we're like, we'll get that building and that one over there and that one over there, and we'll call that our campus. And it's like, no,
No,
bro, that's not.
yeah, terrible, awful setup, and no Tiger Transit, right? I swear, back in the day, Alabama had one trolley. Remember the trolley? It used to go from a dorm called the Rose Towers to like the middle of campus and back. Yeah,
I thought they traveled on horseback. I have no idea.
It might as well have been a horse and buggy. It was terrible.
For full episodes, make sure you head over to the War Rapport's YouTube channel and check out the Weekend Tailgate. Every Sunday, we're going live. Join us on the live stream at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next time, War Eagle.